and 40 or 60 feet deep underground. I guess he couldn't really tell how deep it was. Just to the very west of this gas chamber is where some of the richest natural gas wells in the U.S. are located. This huge building is the first tie-in and tap to these gas wells, reveals an Oregon trenching professional who has seen absolutely no tie-in there for 20 years. There is a duplicate facility at Goat Mountain, Oregon. Both facilities are 50 miles equal distance from Portland. A maximum of 85,000 people per day can be murdered in these underground facilities. From the air, because of the tree covering over the mist underground gas chamber, an engineer was called to the site, reports, "You'd have to be looking with something very elaborate. They are so careful with how they are working with ground restoration, it's bizarre. Right down to the last blade of grass," the engineer continues. "There is a 24-inch underground gas pipe," give me 1 second, "with webbing systems inside and another 8-inch specialized fiber optic cable conduit riding on runner things in the center of it. Sitting on cradles, the 8-inch is a coated system that you can't even pick up with electronics. It just hides itself inside the gas line. When they start backfilling the trench this gas line is in it, there is a 12-inch on top of it. The Rockford Corporation says it's almost impossible to detect." Pivoting off of Portland, a 6-lane road in a 50-mile parameter circle was put in by Asian countries for maximum secrecy. The Japanese and Chinese inserted money into this golden circle, the military movement. The Asian work gangs for this golden circle, for this 6-lane road could not speak English for maximum secrecy. The gas and communication lines from NIST looped the Salem area and back up into the Goat Mountain facility, which, bear with me 1 second, which has black unmarked helicopters flying in after 10:30 p.m. Pacific time each night to the Goat Mountain landing area with infrared landing lights. Goat Mountain is not on many U.S. maps. 30 white painted UN buses have been photographed just outside this Goat Mountain facility. It is reported that the deeply underground Oregon State Militia have formed elite commando units and are watching the gas chambers closely. A former U.S. Army military intelligence officer with the Oregon Militia reports the Oregon National Guard is mostly sold out to the NWO and can't be trusted. Okay, this is inside information here, folks. Okay, this is intel information by some of our observers that we have throughout the country that are watching this take place. Okay, and I must tell you that this information is 100% correct. It's not, this is not misinformation we're trying to feed you here. This is something that literally is out there right now. So, this is not a cock and bull story that we're contriving. These are people out there, some of which former military, some of which are engineers, and some of which, are just patriots out there collecting information and data so we can report it back and make the public aware of what happens. And they do this with great risk to their lives. So, I just want to put that in there. There's so much information that can be had. I just want to mention again that Stu Webb, the Tom Hennigan and Stu Webb Intel Hour, is on Wednesday nights, every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Al CUPPETT, who you heard before, the former Joint Chiefs of Staff Action Officer, retired from the Pentagon, he's on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. And we have Reverend Edward Pinkney from Michigan, who talks about the corruption in Michigan and in the prison systems in Michigan. And he's on Thursday nights at 9 o'clock also. I just wanted to bring some of this information out to you people tonight. And do you have anything else you want to comment on at this point? Bad baby?
No, I was thinking, why don't we unmute the lines and see if some of the guests might want to have a comment.
Very good idea. I'm going to do that right now. Okay, we're going to unmute all the lines. Give me 1 second. Okay, does anyone have any comments they'd like to make? Any questions?
Yeah, I'd like to, this is, I'm in New York here. Have any intelligence from the police departments, you know, the high-ranking units, anyone know anyone where they found out, you know, what do they think of these plans that are going on and the behavior of our government for the safety of the population? I know that, you know, you have hegemony and all that stuff going on, but I wonder what they're thinking. Has anyone been in touch? Does anyone have any friends that what is really the thing with these concentration camps and all that?
I believe with police officers around the country, I think they're all standing up right now. Chris, aren't you aware of Defenders of the Constitution, it's called?
Yeah, well, you have people out there called Oath Keepers, for one, Cops versus the NWO.
Constitution, I mean, they're Oath of the Defenders of the Constitution, and Hennigan puts it up there every time on web.com. Yeah, it's on the end of our briefings. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to go to some of these websites there, South New York, you can you know, go to Oath Keepers or what was the other one, Stu? Defenders of the Constitution.
Just look on stewwebb.com and the breaking news at one of our recent postings with Hennigan and I, and Tom writes them for us, so we put his name on it. But look on there, and it's Oath Keepers at the bottom, and those are officers around the nation defending the Constitution. Those are everything, all levels. Believe me, we are well armed. This is a well-armed
that fellow, Officer Bill Lamb, the retired guy, is he still active with the new NWO against police against NWO? I think I've heard of him on the web. I think he's still active.
I'm not familiar with him. I'm familiar with other people in the past, you know, Lamb and others that are very involved, officers and former people, but, you know, who I deal with, a lot of former intelligence officers and FBI and various agencies, NSA and Defense Intelligence, even Interpol agents and others, Israeli Mossad agents even. They're fed up with this crap, what's going on. They don't want their countries destroyed any more than what we do, and they know they're fighting the same thing. And, you know, it comes down to
I even hear from even some of the mainstream news critics, you know, the journalists that have the talk shows, they're pretty much upset with the administration, too. They're being very critical at this time. If you've been listening to the radio, I mean, not the TV, but the radio, talk guys are really critical and concerned about, although they go so far, but they are really bitching about the administration all around.
Well, everybody is, because they see Obama as a liar. He's a cover-up artist. He's a cover-up for Bush and all the other administrations, and we all been putting up with this crap about them looting, robbing, destroying America, our Constitution. You know, as I called Bush fraud, George W. Bush fraud, you know, the constitutional wrecking, destroying, cocaine, AWOL, cocaine snorting, AWOL, drunk, pedophile, child molester, homosexual in the closet, okay, because that's all the charges I could bring against him, because I'm one of the very few people in the country that have a grand jury demand still active to this day, but yet it's never been answered. And it's because, you know, they've destroyed this country, and they've destroyed, what they're doing is destroying the world. And it's based on Satanism. It's called the Illuminati. They think they're a special bloodline. It's 100 crime families, the 100 Knights Templar bankers, they call themselves, and they hijack the word Templars, which I believe Kim's on with us. It's you know, an expert in that area as well this evening. She can interject later, but it's them that has destroyed. And it's devil worshippers. These are devil worshippers, Satanists, at our highest levels of our government. Clintons, Bushes, you know, the other Templar American bankers. And they've hijacked and destroyed the country. And they got the Obamas as stooges and others that, you know, are paid well, millions and millions, some even billions of dollars, and allowed to make what they want to make. And they're in the hierarchies. Now, when the bottom line comes down to it, you got 100 people worldwide controlling